Welcome to Penang Institute Chats, YB LIM GUAN ENG, and welcome back to Penang. How did it feel for you to do the budget? I mean, in your wildest dreams, you didn't think you would be doing it,
Yes, I never even dreamed. Don't say my wildest dreams. I didn't even dream about it, but it was very emotional moment. Especially during the budget, after I hugged my dad. It was very emotional moment, especially because this is Pakistan's first and medium budget.
Very different from a Penang budget, right?
Penang budget at that time was also emotional in its own way, but it was not such a radical departure. This is really a radical departure, considering the fact that we are grappling with the consequences of this outrageous 1MDB scandal that made Malaysia into a global kleptocracy. So to liberate Malaysia from being a global kleptocracy is itself a very emotional moment, and to tell the world that we are no longer a global kleptocracy, but we want to be part of the civilized, international civilized community of being a normal and boring democracy.
I think we
for finance, boring is good, no?
Yeah. But I think we pulled back from the brink, don't you think? One more term with UMNO.
No more term, I think we are looking at 3 trillion ringgit debt. Yeah, at that time, anything we do would be beyond hope. I think by that time, Malaysia will be a basket case. You will be beyond salvation.
So you're very optimistic now?
No, I still said we look at the time frame that we give ourselves. We do not want to do it very abruptly, because then you will shock the system. We space it out over 3 years. So that will give us a more, what will I use the word, a more gentle path towards fiscal consolidation instead of in an abrupt that will shock the system. So we want to avoid shocking the system. Suddenly, let's say if you want to resolve this in 1 year and reduce your fiscal deficit, I mean the economic growth will grind to a halt.
So you would tell your critics that you should look at a 3-year period instead of a budget?
I would tell those who criticize that we understand your concerns and we take your criticism inside, but finally at the end of the day we got to decide what is best for Malaysia, because after all this is a mandate given to us, and instead of doing it within 1 year, we want to space out 3 years. So it's gentler on the people. At the end of the day, you want to punish the perpetrators, the culprits. You punish as hard as you can. I'm going to support you 100%. But the people are innocent. So yes, they have to bear some of the pain, but do it in a manner that is kinder, softer and gentler.
I heard someone say that they thought the budget was a bit conservative. But I mean, we have to be right.
You always have different views. Some say we're conservative, some say it's already very radical, doing this and that. So I think we take all these criticisms right, that some people are not used to new ideas. Some other feels that we are not pushing faster enough. I think that is that balance. Most important thing is that the cabinet feels comfortable with it and they are willing to defend it.
I would like to ask you to engage you not so much as finance minister but as a major leader of Malaysia Baru. Right. And so I want to know, apart from the obvious economic growth and institutional reforms, what dynamics in Malaysian society do you think are most important, if you want to create a sustainable Malaysia Baru? I'm thinking of cultural renewal, how journalism is done, how the universities are run. So as one of the major leaders of Malaysia Baru, how would you rank the importance of things that need doing?
Whether has a major leader like what you said, or has an ordinary citizen, I think we are all in this together. I think a very important element, whether it's culture, heritage, arts, or even economy, politics, I think we should try to look at each other as a partner. To make this Malaysia Baru a success. For instance, if you want the economy to move forward, you need also the collaboration and the support of the civil service. So we need to help each other improve. For example, if you want business to move forward, it cannot be just business moving in isolation. The civil service also must be more professional. They must also try to assist these businesses, and they must not forget that they are civil servants, and has a civil servant to serve the people, which includes, of course, the private sector. That's why we are talking about Malaysia has an entrepreneurial state where all the stakeholders, whether public sector, private sector, professionals and the people, we must try to work in concert. It's just like an orchestra, symphonic orchestra. Every musical instrument must play.
They must play in sync.
In unison,
yeah.
in synchronized, in harmony, and in concert. Otherwise, you'll be very, very jarring. So the challenge is, how can you synchronize? How can you make sure that they are in harmony and unison? Of course, it cannot be 100% perfect.
No.
But if we treat each other as partners as well as willing to collaborate in order to make this Malaysia Baru idea a success, I think we got a shot at it. And that means that every one of us must improve, especially the civil service. My experience in Penang has shown that if you do not get the civil service to play its part or to come along, you will not succeed, because they are the implementers.
But which are the buttons to press? Do you try to convince the older members of the public service, civil service, or the young?
I would always say that every member of the civil service must also play their part. I always try to take a more positive approach, in the sense that every member of the civil service, they do not want to be the worst employee. Everyone wants to try to be the best employee. So we try to appeal to the better angel, not just the better angels of the nature, but their pride of being professional. If we can inculcate that, you should not regard the private sector as opponents, but as your partner. At the same time, we must also try to to improve on their professionalism and also their pursuit of excellence. Then only will we be able to succeed. I mean, Penang's successes over the last 10 years was because we were able to bring the civil service along, where they were facilitators and not frustrators. I think that is crucial. If you look at the success of every country, it's all because they had a very professional, very focused, and also a very passionate civil service.
They must feel pride in their job.
Pride in their jobs and pride in wanting to push the country forward.
So, as politicians, you have to set the example in working together, right, across all the divisions.
That's why we want to professionalize, our duties. For example, we are political leaders, yes. We listen to people, we try to translate their aspirations into reality. But at the same time, we are also professionals. We want to make sure that it's done properly according to a certain set SOP. It's for this reason that the new government has decided that GLC directors cannot be appointed from the ranks of politicians, so that we can at least begin this journey, this path towards a professional management of the cliques, the GLCs, the cliques, or what is normally called in overseas the SOEs, the state-owned enterprises. So if you continue to have politicians who know next to nothing about management or running a business, I think it will be the death of the entire SOEs or the GLCs. And so this is a very important first step, which we have done so. But at the same time, it cannot be only the GLCs that is being professionalized. It should also include the civil service.
So you need a very good crop of technocrats, really, for around you, right?
We need a good crop of excellent people everywhere. But when I say about pursuing excellence, it is just not limited to the private sector or the professionals. It should also include even the rakyat, the people. So when they have, we look at issues, they should have forward thinking as well as forward planning, but also, I think, very, very critical and crucial, the civil service.
And so the education system would be one of the key points that you think Malaysia Baru should
reform. So again, you talk about the education system. You can have the best system in the world, but you don't have the best teachers. How are you going to get it done? If you don't have the best teachers, you'll not be able to implement the education curriculum that you want to push Malaysia, propel Malaysia forward to the 21st century.
What about Malaysia in the region? Are there ideas about how Malaysia should reposition itself within ASEAN now when China and India are rising? Malaysia alone might not be able to stand up to this.
We should again reinforce the concept of ASEAN has a zone of peace, freedom and neutrality. So like even in this trade war between China and US, we provide some sort of a neutral ground, a safe haven. Now when we talk about the rise of China and India, we want to subscribe and we want to believe that this rise shall be peaceful. So the rise of China and India is peaceful and can also be beneficial to its neighbors. After all, if you have a prosperous neighbor, it will only make your economy stronger.
Of course, of course.
If China is surrounded by prosperous neighbors, then they don't have to worry about conflicts, don't have to worry about wars, because then everyone will be thinking of how to become more prosperous. In the old days, you always have war. You always have to build a great wall because China is so prosperous, and then the outlying regions is so poor. So they always definitely will try to come and invade. But when everybody is prosperous, nobody is interested about invading each other. They're only interested in invading your markets.
So rising tide raises all boats in that
Yes,
way.
and in order to achieve that, I think you must have fair trade. You must have fair trade. Free trade, that is fair trade, and that's why we feel that this trade war is unnecessary. I think it can be resolved through negotiations and diplomacy instead of declaring a tariff war, because in the end everyone loses.
Right. Thank you. I think
Thank
that's
you.
all the time we have.